Okay, so today we're going to go over the maximum, minimums, domain and range, which you already know, and increasing and decreasing. So to do these problems, we don't need an actual graph. We can just use a sketch because they're not actually asking us to graph. They're just asking us to answer these questions, and all we need is a rough sketch to be able to answer the questions. So you have to be able to look at all of the equations and be able to distinguish the different formats. So you should be able to tell that this particular form is in standard form, and this particular equation is in vertex form. This particular equation is in standard form, and this equation is in vertex form. So we should be able to look at them and tell. And we love vertex form because vertex form, you can find the vertex without doing any mathematical calculations. So basically to sketch this, we just want to know if it's opening up or down and what the vertex is. So because there's no reflection, we know that the vertex is, or the parabola is opening up. And it shifted 3 to the left and down 2. So therefore we know the vertex is going to be -3, -2, and it's opening up. So we just need to draw a parabola opening up and have a vertex. Right? We don't really need, I know we have graph paper in the background, but we don't need graph paper. We just need a rough sketch. So as we move through the parabola, moving left to right, you can see that because parabolas are made up of, all graphs are made up of infinitely many ordered pairs. So as we walk through the ordered pairs, look at the y values of the ordered pairs. The y values of the ordered pairs are dropping or falling or decreasing as we go to the left-hand side of the vertex. And as we get to the vertex, that's the lowest y value. And then as we start going past the vertex, the y values of each of the ordered pairs start to climb or get bigger or bigger or increase. So if we look at the y values as we go through the pathway of the parabola, we can see that the y values are dropping or decreasing, and then it reaches its lowest point when at the vertex. And then once it goes through the vertex, as it goes to the right of the vertex, the y values start to climb. So therefore, would you say we have a maximum or a minimum? Right, we have a minimum. So the minimum is -2. So the minimum is what's the lowest the graph goes. And so the lowest it goes is -2. And then you guys know the domain and range. The domain is x is all real numbers, and the range is greater than or equal to -2. In the test, you guys forgot to put the equal to symbol, so some of you might have missed a few points there. And then we want to look at where or when is it increasing and when is it decreasing. So it is increasing, right? It is increasing when it's to the right of the vertex. And that's what we say. We say it's increasing when it's to the right of, and instead of saying vertex, we're going to say when it's to the right of -3. And then when is it decreasing? So when are the y values dropping or getting small, lower, lower, lower? So the y values are decreasing when it's to the left of the vertex. So that's what we say. Instead of saying of the vertex, we're going to say to the left of -3. So basically what we're saying is we're saying that as x is to the right of the vertex, in other words, right of -3, the y values, f of x, are going up. And as the x values are to the left of -3, then the y values are decreasing. So that's basically what we're saying. Okay, let's do the next one. So in the next one, we have to find the vertex. So to find the vertex, we need to use the formula. So you guys used the formula last night. Have you forgotten it already? So we know that A is -1/2 and B is 4. And to find the vertex of the x coordinate of the vertex, we use the formula -b over 2a. Right, so that ends up giving us 4 because 2 times -1/2 is -1, and -4 divided by -1 is 4, or -4 divided by -1. And then we're going to replace x with 4 to get the y value. You hear that music in the background? My husband's working out in the garage. Order of operation says you have to do exponents first. So 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16, and half of 16 is 8, and it's negative. And then 4 times 4 here is 16, and then that's 8 plus 1, which is 9. So the vertex is 4, 9 is the vertex. So we're going to use that vertex to sketch it. Then we can answer all the questions. So the vertex is 4, 9, and what did we say? Was the parabola opening up or down? Since it has a reflection, it's opening down. So if the parabola is opening down, would you think it would have a maximum or a minimum if the parabola is opening down? So we have an upside down parabola, and it has a vertex of 4, 9. Did you say it has a maximum this time? You are right. So as we're working through the parabola and we go from left to right, isn't the y values climbing, increasing, increasing, increasing as we are to the right of the vertex? And then we reach the maximum height. And then once we go through the vertex, then the y values start to decrease. So basically that's enough information to answer all of our questions with that little sketch. So we say it has a maximum of, and then what's the maximum? Is the maximum 4 or 9 or 4 comma 9? And if you said the maximum is 9, you are correct. And then the domain is all real numbers, and then the range, y is less than or equal to 9. And then when is it increasing? And when is it decreasing? So it is increasing when it's to the left of the vertex. So we're going to say left of 4. And when is it decreasing? It's decreasing when it's to the right of the vertex. So we're going to say right of 4. Okay, let's go to the next example. So example number 3, notice it's in vertex form and it is reflected, so that means it's going to be opening down. And if it's opening down, would it be a maximum or a minimum if it's opening down? So if you said maximum, you were right, but we can't determine the maximum until we know the vertex. So know that we're just adding 5 to the parent graph, so we're shifting it 5 up. So that means our vertex is 0, 5. That's why we love vertex form, because you don't have to do any math. You can just look with your eyes. And then we can just sketch an upside down parabola, and the vertex is 0, 5. And as we go through the parabola from left to right, we can see that it is climbing until it gets to the vertex. It reaches its maximum height. And then once it starts going through the vertex, then the y values start to drop or decline. So here the y values are dropping or decreasing, and here the y values are getting bigger or increasing. So now we can answer our questions. So does this have a max or a min? Maximum, and what is the maximum? Is the maximum 0, 5 or 0, 5? It is 5. So it's not 0, 5, it's just 5. Because we're looking at what's the highest it goes or what's the lowest it goes. And so the highest it goes is 5. And then we know the domain. All real numbers. And the range. Let you do the range this time. Y is less than or equal to 5. And then when is it increasing or decreasing? So when is it increasing? It is increasing when it's to the left of the vertex. So instead of saying left of the vertex, we're going to say left of 0. And when is it decreasing? Is when it's on the right hand side, when it's to the right of the vertex. So we're going to say right of 0. So again, what we're basically saying that as the x is to the left of 0, our y values are increasing. And as x is to the right of 0, our y values are decreasing. That's basically what we're saying. Okay, last problem. So what form is this in? Standard form. And if it's standard form, then your b is 3 and your a is 1/4. So we have to use the formula to find the x coordinate of the vertex. And that formula is, did you say negative b over 2a? Good for you. So it's negative 3 over 2 times 1/4. So it's negative 3, and then 2 times 1/4, right? You can put a 1 underneath that, multiply straight across, reduce, you get 1/2. And then don't freak out with the fraction, right? You guys should not be grabbing a calculator. You should not have to change it to a decimal. Just leave it as a fraction. So it's 3 divided by 1/2. And can't we change division and multiplication as long as we reciprocate? So basically dividing by 1/2 is the same as multiplying by 2. So that's going to end up giving you negative 6. And now we have to plug in negative 6 into the x to find the y. Right? And then we're going to do order of operations. Exponents first. So negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. At the same time, I'm going to multiply 3 times negative 18. And then 1/4 times 36 means we're dividing 36 into 4 equal pieces. So that would be 9. And then 9 plus a negative 18 is negative 9. So negative 6, negative 9 is the vertex for this problem. So now we can sketch it. So the vertex is negative, I forget what I said, negative 4, negative 9. I can't remember, no, negative 6. I forgot what it was. Yeah, it was negative 6. Negative 6, negative 9. And it was opening up or down. Since there's no reflection, it's opening up. And the vertex is negative 6, comma, negative 9. So would it have a maximum or a minimum? Minimum, correct. So there's a minimum. And what is the minimum? Is the minimum negative 6, negative 9, or negative 6, comma, negative 9? If you said negative 9, you were correct. And again, if we were walking through the parabola, going from left to right, as we walk left to right, the y values are going to start falling or dropping or decreasing. And when we get to the vertex, it's going to reach its lowest point. So that's why it's negative 9. And then when we start going to the right-hand side of the vertex, the values start to climb as we go to the right-hand side of the vertex. So our domain, you guys know, is x, such that x is all real numbers, and the range. Y is greater than or equal to negative 9. And then when is it increasing and when is it decreasing? So it is increasing to the right of the vertex. And so instead of saying right of vertex, we're going to say right of negative 6. And when is it decreasing? It is decreasing to the left of the vertex. So it's decreasing to the left of the vertex. And instead of saying vertex, we're going to say negative 6. So what we're saying is, one last time, what we're saying is that as x is to the right, so as x is going to the right of -6 or bigger than -6, the y values are increasing. And as we go to the left of -6, it'd be less than -6, then the y values are decreasing or getting smaller. Okay, have a good night.